Niccolò Machiavelli's writings, often misunderstood as cold or manipulative, are in fact a blueprint for survival in a world full of facades, intentions, and deception. His legacy, forged in political upheaval and philosophical realism, wasn't just for princes and statesmen. It was, and still is, for anyone who seeks to understand others on a deeper level. To read someone instantly, to see beneath their words and masks, is not a mystical power. It is a learned discipline. Machiavelli never believed in trusting appearances. He knew the real game happened underneath, where emotions, fears, power struggles, and ambitions reside. Reading someone, then, is not about decoding smiles or body language alone. It's about understanding their core motivations, values, insecurities, and tactics. This is where Machiavelli's 14 psychological tactics come into play. These are not superficial tips or passive observations. These are strategic, tested tools forged from the fires of betrayal, ambition, love, fear, and political maneuvering. Applied correctly, these tactics will allow you to walk into any room, conversation, or relationship and instantly perceive who someone truly is. In a world that constantly sells illusion, this is your weapon of perception. And those who master perception control outcomes. Let us begin. Machiavelli believed that every human interaction is a subtle battle of perception, and within that, we are constantly revealing ourselves, even when we try to hide it. The first psychological tactic is rooted in understanding contradictions. Observe not what someone says, but what they avoid. This absence is a presence. A person's silence, their hesitation, the places they refuse to go, those are far more revealing than any confident statement. For instance, someone who constantly preaches about loyalty may, in truth, be plagued by betrayal they've committed, or are afraid to receive. Machiavelli would advise watching not what someone affirms, but what they insist on. Repetition often masks a lack of authenticity. A truly honest man does not need to repeatedly claim he is honest. The louder the virtue is declared, the more it requires scrutiny. Tactic 2. Judge them by their enemies. Machiavelli understood the dynamics of allegiance. You can tell more about someone by the people who despise them than by those who praise them. Praise is easy to manipulate, but enemies are often unfiltered. If a man is hated by cowards, manipulators, or dishonest players, chances are he is doing something right. But if he is hated by the noble, by the wise, by the loyal, there is corruption at his core. Observe their conflict history. It reveals who they threaten and what they threaten with. Thirdly, Machiavelli taught that fear is a revealing force. Put someone under pressure, mentally, emotionally, or socially, and you will uncover their essence. When fear rises, the mask falls. The way someone reacts to uncertainty, delay, rejection, or challenge tells you what they protect the most. A fearful person who attacks under pressure often masks insecurity. A calm person in chaos likely has internal order. Test subtly. Delay an answer. Offer a compliment to someone else in their presence. Speak truth when they expect flattery. These small pressures create cracks, and cracks reveal foundations. Tactic 4. Monitor their speech patterns. Machiavelli knew language was a mirror of thought. Does the person speak with clarity, or do they cloak ideas in vague phrases? The unclear often conceal intentions. The strategic are precise. Vagueness is not humility. It is a tactic of evasion. Additionally, watch for contradictions. A person who constantly shifts their opinions, redefines their values, or adjusts morality based on convenience is not adaptable. They are unstable. The fifth tactic is mirroring values. Not your values, their values. People project themselves onto the world. A person who is obsessed with how others view them often hides shame. One who constantly accuses others of lying is likely a liar themselves. Machiavelli believed that projection is confession. Listen to what they accuse others of. These projections often come from their own playbook. You read someone not by their face, but by the fears they place on others. The sixth principle, Understand power positioning. Every person seeks power, be it control in conversation, influence in relationships, or dominance in groups. Watch how someone enters a room. Do they observe or perform? Do they compete or retreat? The loudest in the room is rarely the most powerful, but neither is the silent one who avoids all confrontation. True power is stillness with presence. Reading people means recognizing posturing. Some inflate their ego to mask insecurity. Others shrink themselves to avoid detection. See beyond the performance. Ask yourself, what are they afraid you'll see? 7th, test their loyalty with trivial sacrifices. Machiavelli warned against trusting the easily agreeable. Someone who says yes to everything is hiding their no. Present a minor inconvenience, something that requires a small sacrifice of time, effort, or attention. The loyal reveal themselves not in grand speeches, but in small consistencies. When a person avoids even minor discomfort for you, they will never protect you in chaos. 8th, watch how they treat the invisible. A Machiavellian reader understands that how someone treats those beneath them reveals who they are without an audience. The way a person treats waiters, subordinates, strangers, or the elderly reveals their real values. If respect is only upward, it's manipulation. But if kindness flows even when it gains nothing, there is integrity beneath the surface. 9th, identify emotional control. Machiavelli understood that emotional control was the highest form of strength. A person who cannot control their temper cannot lead others. Anger is not strength. It is confession. Jealousy, defensiveness, over-apology. These are emotional tells. You read someone by their inability to restrain their emotions when challenged. And when emotions erupt without cause, you are witnessing unhealed wounds and untrustworthy behavior. Tactic 10. Observe consistency under time. Time is the ultimate lie detector. Machiavelli warned that initial impressions are often performances, but time reveals patterns. Don't read someone by their entrance. Read them by their longevity. How do they behave when your presence is no longer useful? When you stop offering attention or admiration? Their patience, loyalty, and effort when unseen. That is their real self. 11th, detect charm as a tool. Not all charm is manipulative, but all manipulation is charming. Be wary of excessive flattery, unearned familiarity, and rapid bonding. Machiavelli saw charm as the weapon of the ambitious. True connection takes time. When someone is trying to sell you on their character too quickly, it's likely a strategy. Ask yourself, is this charm sincere, or is it a mask for influence? 12. Read boundaries. People with low self-worth often allow boundary violation, while predators test boundaries slowly. A Machiavellian observer knows that boundary interactions are a map. When someone consistently pushes your limits or disrespects your space, they're showing you their worldview. And when someone sets clear, firm, but respectful boundaries, they are showing you their integrity. Boundaries are the invisible lines of morality. Read them well. 13th, analyze apology and accountability. A real apology requires ego death. Machiavelli valued accountability, not because it was moral, but because it showed strength. Someone who blames others, deflects responsibility, or twists events cannot be trusted. They are not interested in truth, only perception. A person who apologizes without defensiveness, who takes ownership of their actions, is someone you can begin to read as authentic. Finally, the 14th tactic, watch who they become when they win. Defeat humbles most people, but victory reveals the soul. Machiavelli believed power did not corrupt, it revealed. Give someone a small victory. Let them win an argument. Let them believe they have influence. What happens next is who they really are. Do they become arrogant? Do they mock others? Do they forget humility? Or do they stay grounded? How someone handles power is the clearest reading you will ever find. These 14 psychological tactics are not about judgment. They're about clarity. Machiavelli never taught hate. He taught awareness. When you understand people, you protect yourself. When you can see beneath the surface, you become immune to deception. You stop being surprised by betrayal. You stop overinvesting in appearances. And most of all, you gain power. Because to read someone instantly is not a trick. It is a skill, a mindset, a weapon. And in a world where most are blind to what's in front of them, the one who sees leads. Welcome to the mindset of Machiavelli. Welcome to perception. Welcome to power. You've now been handed the tools. Use them well. Use them wisely. And never again walk into a room without knowing exactly who you're dealing with. This is the Machiavelli Guide.